So we were a Protestant state. There was a Catholic state, France, but they were not really in a position to negotiate after they just lost the war.
Mm,
Napoleon had been kicked, and
mm,
so it was more or less recommended and requested from Germany and Austria-Hungary to to uh, to start this and England, by the way, to actually have Belgium and the Netherlands united, because basically Belgium was more or less an obstacle on the way to France. So yeah, so then that's when basically they shuffled the cards and they came up with this kind of weird compromise, and that became
mm,
those became the borders of the state as we know them today. But still, Belgium cannot keep a government for longer than a few months, and then it falls because they are still so much divided.
mm.
Because of the speed in economic development, the difference between economic development, because of language barriers, cultural barriers. It's kind of weird that in 200 years they still haven't managed to resolve this, but yeah, it's the reality.
Mm.
Yeah, by the way, 2000 years ago, oh no, 1500 years ago,
Hmm.
Roman Empire, the age, uh, like based on this chart, and Spain and France looks like seem to be combined.
So basically, this was at the time of the Roman era. So they were combined. This was Rome. Everything was Rome. They were not
But they
countries.
they are speaking French and Spanish,
They were speaking Latin.
Latin,
Latin.
or for Latin they separated into the
So
Spanish. French,
this is where they spoke Latin, and this is where they spoke Greek.
Greek, the changing world.
Hmm.
How they going to Spanish, French are generated?
Well, of course, they also spoke that. So it was not like everybody was doing that, but it was just like their lingua franca, their shared language was Latin.
At that time they spoke French and Spanish.
Yeah, well, probably something that resembled it.
Oh.
If you look back in literature in the Netherlands, well, they spoke Dutch, but you have to read very very carefully to understand what they were actually saying. That was not the same language as we know it today. It almost looked like a foreign language, but languages are currently under development and they change constantly with the influx of other people. Just by through usage, some words become obsolete, and other words they enter into the vocabulary. They enter because of trade or because of uh, people moving into the Dutch society. So what you see, for example, now in the Netherlands, we get more and more words, for example, who are derived from Turkish or Moroccan, that become part of the vocabulary of the youth, and then once that is adopted, then the next generation it will become a regular word in the Dutch vocabulary, and then the Dutch language changes.
But for me, it's very, very interesting is France, German, and Holland, Netherlands, and those countries almost borderless.
Hmm.
Borderless, right? You
Right,
can,
at this time they were more or less
no,
borderless.
now it's borderless.
Now, yeah, yeah.
Every back and forth, but still they language is different. Very uh, strange for me.
Right, but you say the language is different, but the language was much different 20 years ago than it is today. Because at that time, if you went to Germany, there
You
was
said
hardly
20 years.
20 years. 20 years ago, if you go to France, people only spoke French because this is France. But nowadays, if you go to France, young people they all speak English,
Mm.
maybe with a terrible French accent, but they speak English. And in Germany, it's the same. They even have adopted it. I think even
Why they
quicker.
changed for past 20 years?
But because I think that people realize, young people nowadays realize that they're part of Europe, so that France is not the center of the universe anymore. It becomes Europe becomes the point of gravity. So there is more exchange. It's easier to move out of France into other countries. You can work there. There are opportunities there. So people are naturally more inclined to adopting these languages. Plus, the internet has contributed a lot, I think, because the language spoken on the internet is English, right? So young people, they're exposed to English almost constantly. That's actually one thing that I think, that the internet as it is consumed and all the websites and everything there, it's more English oriented than it is in Japan. In Japanese, people really consume internet in Japanese.
So Europe is the English supposedly next one decade, 2 decades later, English supposedly everybody can understand.
I think that is definitely a trend, that if the trend continues, then everybody will speak English. Even though England has gotten out of the EU. Even though England has gotten out of the euro, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. So after the Middle Ages, we get the Renaissance with a very strong focus on knowledge and coming closer to God, astronomy, physics, medicine. We will talk about that later when we talk about philosophy, because there was a very clear connection between,
so
for example,
Renaissance is 1300 till 1600.
Right.
This is not Middle Age?
No, post-Middle Age.
Oh, post-Middle Age.
Right.
Post-Middle Age. In the transition to the modern era?
Yeah, well, of course, these are arbitrary years, right? So that's for some areas, the Renaissance came very quickly, while other areas, they still lived like it was the Middle Ages, even up to 1900. But if we look at like the leading figures and their publications and what remains from those people in history, then we can say that it started around 1300, but very highly concentrated in very small eras, like in Italy or in Rome,
so what
in
happened
Paris.
These 300 years?
So there was a lot of...
Just you said Protestant coming on surface from Catholic, and
Yes.
what's others?
Others is that there was a big development in searching for the truth, meaning searching for the truth, and what is the truth, and what is real. And they were studying mathematics and nature, and were trying to come up with why is everything the way it is, and how does our solar system work, and that was not entirely as a reaction against religion. A lot of these scientists were actually keeping a central role of God within their searching for the truth, but some also concluded that maybe God doesn't exist.
God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, at that time, those people went to China. Okay.
So this was people went to China. People went everywhere. Ne? People started to go out to explore the world, to find the truth, to find new ways to make money left, right, and center. So that is everything went together. So taking a very new approach. So this was really a period that
at that time, Islam is still active.
Yes.
Only Europe.
Yes, still. I mean, Islam was active. We had the Moors in Spain. We had the influence in the Balkan.
Which country existed at that time? In Middle East or North Africa? It's 1300, 1600?
Well, we had Egypt, of course.
Egypt?
Egypt.
They have power? No,
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
How about Middle East? Is Persia? Persian?
Persia,
Or how
yeah.
about Ottoman Empire?
Ottoman,
Not yet.
not yet, I think.
Not yet.
I don't. When was the Ottoman Empire?
Mongol?
Mongols, yeah.
Who are they at that time? 1300 to 1600?はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日は V キューブさんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる専門性を持つ英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアーツということと、それからもう一つは孫子の兵を、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。で、以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後こういうふうな研修をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。で、ここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね、集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね、50セッションのテーマに分けて資料を作成しております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対してもいろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね、議論をしております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、V キューブさんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。